A long, long time ago, in a valley long forgotten, there lived a widow with her son and daughter.
Hasek, the eldest, was a wise and responsible son,
while his sister Dalsin had an innocent and trusting young heart. To provide for her family, the mother would go every day to the closest village and sell her amazing homemade rice cakes to the other villagers. This day was like any other. She kissed her daughter goodbye, gave her son a pat on the head and told him to watch over his sister, and left for the village like any normal day.
But this day was different. As the mother was walking back from her long day of selling rice cakes, she came across a tiger in her path.
She cried, "Tiger, please spare me! My children are waiting for me at home!"
Even though the tiger was giant and fierce and ferocious, he thought for a moment and said, "Okay, I will not eat you if you give me one rice cake."
She was terrified and gave him the best rice cake from her basket that she had left, and the tiger left the mother to continue on her way. But then, as the mother came up to the second hill on her way home, it happened again. And again, she gave him a rice cake. That day, the tiger appeared on every hill and ate all of Mother's rice cakes. And on the 20th hill, when the mother had no more rice cakes to give, the tiger even ate up the mother.
But even after he had eaten the mother, the tiger was still very hungry. The hungry tiger knew that Hasek and Dalsin would be at home, waiting for their mother's return. So he disguised himself in the woman's clothes, put some rice cake powder on his hands, and set off for their house.
While all this was going on, Hasek and Dalsin were at home playing and watching over the house while waiting for their mother to return. But the longer they waited and the longer mother was gone, the more the children started to worry. When it started to get dark, they went into their house to wait and locked the door.
That night, the tiger arrived at their little home, smelling the children inside. The tiger called out, "My kids, mother's home. Hurry, open up the door."
Little Dalsin was so relieved that she thought it was her mother right away and ran to open the door. But Hasek stopped her just in time, saying, "Wait, mother's voice is strange." He could recognize the difference in the tiger's tone and refused to open the door for him.
The tiger insisted, "No, really, my darlings, it's me. It's just because I caught a cold."
Hasek listened, but was still not convinced. He thought for a moment and then said, "Okay, then show me your hands." The tiger pushed his powder-covered furry hands in the space between the door. The children mused, "Our mother has no fur on her hands," and so assumed it was safe to let their odd boy's mother in. Dalsin skipped happily towards the door and opened it. What a shock! As Dalsin opened the door, the tiger pushed its way into the home, and the children realized the mistake they had made. The children screamed as the tiger chased them round and around the house, out the door, and up into a tree.
The tiger, stuck and stumped, looked up at the children and asked, "How did you climb up there?" Hasek, thinking quick, came up with an idea to get rid of the tiger. "Put sesame oil on your hands."
The tiger went to the house and put a lot of sesame oil on his hands. And then started climbing up the tree. But his hands were so slippery because of the sesame oil that he could not climb the tree.
The tiger, being persistent and knowing he had been tricked, went back to the house to wash his hands so he could climb up the tree to snatch the children.
Hasek and Dalsin looked down on the tiger, screaming and crying as he climbed toward them, not knowing what to do. And in that moment of distress, Dalsin looked up to the heavens and prayed, saying, "Please send us a rope. My brother and I are pure of heart and meant to be saved. Please send us a rope that is strong enough to rescue us. But if we are not pure of heart, then let the rope be old and rotten and fail for those who are unworthy." Once she had finished crying out her prayer, a long, strong rope was sent down from above, and the two children started climbing for their lives. They climbed and climbed and climbed, not daring to look down at the tiger below, until finally they reached the heavens.
The tiger looked up and saw the children in the room and became furious. No!
He cried. He was losing his precious meal. Starting to climb the tree, the tiger also prayed to the heavens for a rope so that he too could follow the children to heaven and devour them. Moments later, a thick, rotten rope was sent down from the sky to the tiger, and he started climbing. He climbed and climbed, but a little way up to the heavens, the rope broke, since he was nowhere close to being pure of heart. He plunged down from the sky into a millet field, turning the entire field red. Hisik and Dawson followed the rope up to heaven and stayed there forever. This is how the brother became the sun, and the sister became the moon. The end.